Hey everybody, my name is Lisa Kerr and I am the CEO of Lighthouse for Life. We are a local for-impact organization with the mission to eradicate human trafficking. Human trafficking is a modern-day slavery that impacts more than 40 million people worldwide, and that's actually thousands of people right here in South Carolina. And in contrast to what you might think of when you think of human trafficking or you think of slavery, this slavery actually preys on the vulnerabilities of its victims, and so it offers food, shelter, love, hope, protection, care, support to an individual, and then exploits that trust and that relationship until a person actually becomes broken, defeated, lost, alone, shamed, and without hope, but they're blindsided by it. We desire to change that statistics here in South Carolina, and although there are many different ways that you can fight human trafficking and many different needs, from legislation to medical to shelters to rescue, Lighthouse for Life has 3 specific ministries that we focus on. Residential care is actually one of the #1 needs in the fight against human trafficking, and it's easy to think of when you think of an individual who has not had a home. They have been under the control of a trafficker, so when they get out of that life, where do they go? And not only where do they go, but how do they have their needs met from the multitude of trauma that they experience while they're in the life? We have that need met by our residential program called Caris Home. It's a long-term aftercare facility that provides services to victims of sex trafficking that are female between the ages of 12 and 21. It includes all comprehensive services from education to physical to getting them connected with counselors and the right medical needs, and taken as long as they need to get the recovery that they need as they transition back into their life. We also are very passionate about the education and awareness of our communities. People can't fight something that they don't understand, and human trafficking affects everybody. Whether it's a loved one who might actually be a victim of human trafficking, or whether it's a child that might be at risk for becoming a victim of human trafficking because they're lonely. And COVID has set them up to where they're at home desperate for someone to notice them, for someone to care, for somebody to see them and value them for who they are. What an easy target for a trafficker to come along and reach out to them through a device in the safety of, quote, the safety of their own home. But if we can help both our youth and parents and community members understand how human trafficking takes place, recognize the disguises of a trafficker, and know how to fight back, then we're protecting our communities before they ever even need our residential facilities. We train law enforcement, we train medical providers, we train anybody and everybody that we can just to give them the tools that they need. And the third component started mostly during COVID, and it's our survivor support program. We don't want to say no to anybody that reaches out to us for help. We may not be able to provide everything that they need, but we want to connect them to the resources that we don't have and maximize the resources that we do have. So say you have an adult survivor who's 35 years old, has been in the life for 14 years, has been out maybe for 4 years, and she is trying to get past the multitude of obstacles in her story, from I need to get a job, but I have a criminal record, and I need to get my criminal record expunged, and then I need to get a GED because I was taken out in my early years of education. Or maybe they don't have transportation to be able to get to a place to interview for a job. Or maybe they have kids, and their kids are from all over the place because of multiple different abusers or multiple different traffickers, and they're trying to figure out how to handle custody cases. There's so many different obstacles, but if we can come alongside them and do life with them and help them to slowly chip away at those obstacles, then they have a much greater chance at a life of healing and hope as they take their step by step. So Lighthouse for Life has those 3 areas. If you would like to be a part of this organization, we welcome you. Everybody has a role in this fight against human trafficking. Maybe you want to volunteer. You can help us with our trainings. You can help us with needs at the office. You can help us do job skills with our survivors. There are many ways that you connect with us, and you can find that at volunteer@lighthouseforlife.org. Maybe you want to be a part of our staff. Right now we're looking for a director for our Caris Home program. We're also looking for some help in the management side, the operations side, and event management. And we're also looking for people who are just willing to be a voice in the community. We can't reach everybody because there's too many people. But if you learn about it and then you take the message and you share that within your community, then you're coming alongside us in that fight. And we also need the funding. If you don't have the time or the means or you feel like you have the skills to really contribute to the front lines of supporting these survivors, let us do that for you and help empower us to do that by joining us financially in this fight against human trafficking. You can also check out the events that we have at lighthouseforlife.org/events and find some ways to plug in that way. Thank you.